Hello individuals, I'm actually not sure how to preface this video. This is about the third take that I make, especially because I know I'm going to be sharing this link with people, so it feels a little weird, but just gonna go into explaining it. So the LGBT Center in New York had an event for Transgender Day of Remembrance, and if you don't know, Transgender Day of Remembrance is usually the 20th of November, but this year the event was the 18th. When I'm recording this, it would be yesterday, so it was Friday night, and I was asked to speak at it, and so I did the best that I could and tried to say things that I knew I wanted to hear and say things that felt valuable to me. So this is going to be the first time that I'm actually going to watch myself make the speech when I'm editing this video, so that should be interesting, but yeah, I'm just going to jump right into that. Okay, I'm like emotional is a better word. As November approaches every year, I feel this heavy feeling in the pit of my stomach. A time like tonight makes one reflect on lives that were unjustly taken away. For myself, it hits home. Transgender Day of Remembrance brings up all the times I felt dysphoric, felt threatened, felt rejected, and felt alone. This day makes me think about my friends and the fear of losing them to bigotry, the fear of losing them to suicide, and the pain from nearly living that reality. But despite all the fear and pain a day like this brings up, I also think about the future. I think about those who are still living, still kicking. I think about progressive change in policies and society. The best way we can honor those who have passed is by making sure that their deaths were not in vain. We cannot remain silent. We cannot stay still. We have to give the voice back to those who have had their voices taken away from them by advocating for our basic human rights. I don't mean that we all have to riot in the streets, but by sharing our stories and by being successful, we can prove that trans lives are just as equally valuable as cis lives. By living your truth, you can be your own kind of activist. I decided to go into filmmaking because I love the art. The more I learned about myself and about society, however, I knew that I had to use the medium to advocate. These days, I actively make YouTube content in which I talk about my trans experience and how I've come to navigate that. By doing so, I hope to create a platform in which I, as well as other trans folk, don't feel alone. Where someone can finally say, "You look like me," or "Your story sounds like mine." When I woke up on November 9th this year, I cried. What I thought would never happen had happened. I cried not only for myself, but for my trans brothers, sisters, and siblings. When I saw who we as a country had elected as president and as vice president, I felt my heart break. I became scared that the progress we have made would be forgotten. November 10th, I learned that at least 2 transgender individuals were pushed to suicide, and that's only the number of people who were accounted for. The Trans Lifeline received over 300 calls in 24 hours, and suicide hotlines had to place people on hold with how busy they were. Fear was alive. I was scared for my own safety, but I was more so scared for the other trans youth out in this country that face more threats than I do, that feel more alone. I was scared for those of us who deal with layers of oppression, the undocumented, the disabled trans folk, the transgender people of color, or those on the trans feminine spectrum. But now is the time to unify and hold each other close. Now is the time to support one another and prove to each other that there is more love than there is hate. Now is the time to stand up for each other and to be allies. Allies for the Muslim community, the queer community, the undocumented people, women, and so many others. For those who have privileges, whether it be cis or white or any other kind, I urge you to contemplate on them and use them to stand in solidarity. I always had this image in my head of the future in which I kept my transness a secret the day I started to pass, the day I no longer got misgendered. But I don't think I can be silent. I have to use my voice to speak out and to teach as long as I'm living. I have to use my art to be a medium for mine and so many other trans stories. Tenemos que demostrar que estamos aquí, siempre estuvimos aquí y no nos vamos a ningún otro lado. We have to show that we are here, we have always been here, and we are not going anywhere. I love you, Nene! If you've watched up to here, thank you so much. Subscribe, like, or comment. You can give an individual their wings, and if you subscribe, you can join my wing family, and who doesn't want to learn to fly. And until next video. Bye. I'm just gonna here. Subscribe, like, or comment, and you can give an individual. Here.
when I'm editing it, when I'm editing it. You so much. Subscribe, like, a comment. You can get subscribe, like, a comment. You can give an individual. You can give an individual. Thank you so much. Fuck. Why am I so nervous? Okay.